Hello there, Bitizens, and welcome to the Killer Bits. My name is Francesca, and today we are back in Chronicle as we do another beginner deck. You guys have been requesting this, so here we are, and hopefully we'll be doing a weekly Chronicle vid from now on, so keep an eye out on Thursdays. We're going to be doing a deck for Aggro-zan. Well, we're doing a deck for Ozan, which is called Aggro-zan because it's an aggressive deck. Ozan is the Thief class. You can build him around gold gain or you can build him around damage. And you'll very commonly see him played in ranked as a damage class. This is a beginner damage deck, and as you unlock new cards, there's ways you can improve it, but this is a very cheap deck to make to kind of get you started. So this deck, like I said, you gain gold, you equip weapons. You use these weapons for stuff like Wilderness, where you can hit your opponent, and Duel Tournament, where you can hit your opponent, or Snapshot, where you hit them with your weapon attack +1. Alternatively, you use these weapons to kill things like the Skeleton Champion and Ketsec, which also deals damage to your opponent. It's a very aggressive deck. Now, this deck does have crafting costs. We are running 3 Sapphire cards and 1 Emerald card, but we're running 2 of each, so it's 2 Emeralds and 6 Sapphires is roughly the cost. I think it comes out at about 500 shards. In terms of crafting these cards, but we've got 2 Darren Lightfinger. This is the most expensive card in the deck. It is an Emerald. Discard 1 random card, remove 4 cost from your next support. So you can basically play Darren Lightfinger, gives you 1 gold, removes 4 cost from your next support. The 1 gold you can then use to pay for Dragon Longsword, and then you can start, dealing damage. So it's not a bad card at all. I mean, you could run Ring of Charos instead, which is an Emerald card, but it only removes 3 cost, and it doesn't give you gold, so you can't do Darren into Dragon Longsword. So I really would recommend crafting this. On top of that, we have Wilderness. So Wilderness is like Duel Tournament. Duel Tournament, you battle your rival, you draw a card. Wilderness, you deal 2 damage to your rival, and then you battle them. So it's a little extra damage, but you don't get the card draw. Same gold cost. Then at the bottom here, we have our 2 Sapphire cards. We have Skeleton Champion, and we have Ketsec. Now, Skeleton Champion is a 5 health, 8 damage monster. And we have this card here, Safe Spot. Discard 1 random card, remove 5 health from your next creature. So you can use Safe Spot into Skeleton Champion, kills the Skeleton Champion, deals 5 damage, gives you a 6/1 weapon you can then use to kill Ketsec, deal 8 damage, or, Snapshot, or whatever you really want to do. So we're done with this deck. Whoops, brought up my friends list. We're done with this deck. But let's test it out. So let's take it into a casual game and see how that works out for us. Okay, so we're against an Ariane called Theron. Now, Ariane, you typically see aggro decks, like I've done previously, or card draw-based decks, or on higher ladder you see book decks, or decks around spell books, which can be quite interesting. So we're going to be trying to kind of scope out what her deck is before we do this. Let's have a look what we got. So we can safe spot the Skeleton Champion, but the problem is we won't have the gold to then use the Duel Tournament. We don't need both of these, and I think Wilderness is a little better than Duel Tournament. So let's just get rid of these 3 cards here. Hold on to the Scorpion, because we can just kill that at the beginning. Oops, what have we got here? Okay, so we can safe spot into the Skeleton Champion, into the Ketsec, and deal damage across those 2, and then we can play 1 more card. Bear in mind, we will discard something at the end of this turn, so we want to play the card that we least want to discard. And I think at this point we may as well play Ally, although Ally and Gnome Guard kind of do the same thing, so it doesn't really matter which of these we discard. So let's play the Scorpion, because we can't play the Wilderness, right? Yeah, I think we'll play it in this order. See how this turns out for us. Okay, so I think she's maybe going for a card draw Earthstrike deck. Earthstrike is an Ariane card which costs 8 gold and deals damage to you equal to 2 times her hand size. So when you see Ariane drawing cards, which this one is clearly doing, we got to be a little bit careful for getting hit really hard in the face. Fortunately, we are starting to kind of whittle her down already, so we've hit her there for 5. Then we'll be hitting her for 8, so that's what, 13 damage, and then another 3. So we've done 16 damage in this first turn alone, which I think is a fairly strong starting hand, to be honest. She's already down to 14 health, so we've already put kind of a lot of pressure on her in the first chapter. And that's ideally what you want to be doing with this deck. We've also got a couple cards here where we can gain gold and maybe get some weapons equipped, and we can start to be doing damage with our weapons, which we'll hopefully see here. Yep, there we go. We got a Saradomin Godsword, right? So what we can do here... ooh, this is risky. I think we go Gnome Guard, Ally Morrisane. Now, bear in mind that if we play the Darren Lightfinger, we're going to discard a card. So actually, I think what we're better off doing is just gaining gold on this turn and holding on to these for the next turn. Because I can't play all 5 in one go, And what I really want to do is equip the Sarah Sword and then use Snapshot. So we're just going to hold off on this turn for now because we don't want to discard a card. And I mean, if we'd drawn slightly better or slightly differently, like we could have maybe played more this turn. But it's fine sometimes if you don't want to play cards. You don't always have to play cards, right? You don't always have to play everything. That's perfectly fine. If you leave a couple slots empty, that's fine. Like, it'll give you maybe an advantage in certain situations. And I was in a fairly healthy position, so I wasn't too worried about how this turn was going to turn out. Simply because I had a lot of health. And you can see here she's hit me a little bit, but she's also taken, you know, a bit of damage herself. So, I mean, she's got 9 health. She's going to have to be a little bit careful in the next couple turns, especially as now what we can do is get that Sarah Sword equipped and use that Snapshot. And if we use that Snapshot, we'll hit her for, 7 + 1, so 8 damage. So that's her basically dead within these 3 cards. And we haven't even drawn anything yet, right? So this is what you have to kind of be aware of. Yep, so what we're going to do here, I think, is we're going to pop the Desert Snake, remove 5 health from her, then the Darren, then the Saradomin Sword, and then the Snapshot. So the Snapshot will hit her for 8 right at the end. We'll get a heal in there, and we'll gain a little bit of gold. I mean, we're going to lose one of these 2 cards, but these are our weaker damaged cards, so that's actually okay. Unfortunately, we see that she's paid there for a heal, but again, we're going to hit her here for 5, though we do, you know, take 3 damage in the process. She's down on 11 health. Like, she's starting to get, you know, fairly weak. And you can see her wasting card slots to heal, whilst we keep the pressure quite high as we kind of whittle her down. Plus, we're going to heal off this sword as well. So we're not in a bad position by any stretch of the imagination. And I can see this game going fairly well for us. We've got our sword online there, the 7-2. We're going to hit her for Snapshot. She's going to battle us. Oh, I think we win. Yeah, so she hits us for 2. We hit her with our sword for 9, and then we Snapshot and kill her. So she used Wilderness there, thinking we wouldn't have a weapon equipped, but we did have a weapon equipped. So she committed suicide, and you can see there that we won. Ozan. He says that. He says, and the crowd goes wild, Ozan, or can I get an O? Can I get a Zan? If you play him enough, you'll basically know all of these off by heart. But that's the gist of the Ozan deck. You know, there are lots of different cards you can add to it. For example, I think cards like a Joker Shaman, for example, would work quite well in here. Another possible monster to kill. Deal damage to rival equal to their hand size ×2. This is something that you shouldn't underestimate. This can be really, really big. Especially as the game kind of goes on, because you can deal up to, 20 damage with this card, depending on how many cards they have. Other cards you can consider adding. Sometimes you see something like a Ring of Recoil, for example, which we'll find in here somewhere. There it is. Ring of Recoil, deal 4 damage to rival, take damage equal to rival's base attack. So that one you hit them and then you get hit back a little bit. But it's not bad if they don't have very high base attack. Other cards you might see Pirate Strategies. So this is a bit more expensive. You have a card called Lady Zay. Deal 3 damage to rival plus 3 damage per cannonball. Cannonballs you draw from other cards. So then if we look for cannonball cards, there is one in here called, if I can find it for you, it's a monster, I do believe, called Rowdy Cannoneer. Deal 4 damage to rival, add 1 cannonball to player's hand. And a cannonball, if you play it by itself, just deals 1 straight damage. So, for example, if you put maybe some Rowdy Cannoneers or some Saucy Wench deckhands in your deck, they synergize very well with the diamond card Lady Zay. But obviously it's way more expensive because Lady Zay is a diamond card and costs a butt ton to craft. But yeah, that has been Aggro-zan, or Aggro-zan as it's commonly called. And you do see variations of this all through the ranked ladder. So, I mean, just you'll see it played in bronze, you'll see it played in silver, you'll see it played in gold even. Like, I've faced it off in gold when I'm where I'm currently ranked, and I've beaten it, and I've also played it myself. Like, I have, you know, my own variation of the beginner deck, which is currently called Crush Glenn, because I was playing against a friend of mine called Glenn. You can see, for example, that I've swapped out the Sarah Sword for something called a Garajo Horde Stalker, for example. We've put in, you know, some diamond cards, like we've put in a Kale, which is a 4-2. This card is going to be getting changed, but it's a very strong diamond card. We've put in maybe some heals in here with Cullen Romancer, just in case, you know, I feel like I was getting, you know, maybe killed a bit quickly. And these are all things that you can do. Take the deck and modify. And that's something that I recommend anyone do. Like, don't just take this deck and then trust this deck completely. Like, this deck is fine, but maybe it doesn't suit your playstyle. You know, it's a very much a beginner deck, and as you get new cards, you really should be augmenting your deck and trying out new things. Beyond that, if you've enjoyed this video, maybe hit that thumbs up button. As always, you know, you can find us on social media, on Facebook at facebook.com/thekillerbits, and on Twitter at thekillerbits. If you want me to play anyone next week, you know, let me know in the comments below what kind of decks you're interested in seeing. We'll probably try and get these beginner decks all done, and then we'll start moving on to more advanced decks. Like we have a book, Ariane here, a deck that uses the Ancient Spellbook and the Lunar Spellbook, which are both Ruby cards. We could leave that. And we have, for example, Dragon Linza here, which is a really fun deck to play. It runs the Rune Dragon card, and is, like I say, a lot of fun. But yeah, beyond that, you know, you can find a whole description of the build in the comments below or in the description below, and let me know what you want to see. And if you want to support us further, you can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/thekillerbits. And if you want to see me play things like Dungeoneering and Ranked and whatnot live, you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jagerus. I stream Monday to Friday and play a lot of Chronicle at the moment, so check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next week. Bye!